Damari mentioned that he was able to go through practice today. How did he look?
Well, he did. I think he thought he did a good job. You know, not being in a lot of our guys' conditioning is still they're not in mid-season form yet, conditioning-wise. We went pretty hard, pretty long, but he did a good job. He competed. He was with, again, his conditioning, just like everyone else, is not at mid-season form right now. But health-wise, he was good. He moved his feet, and I saw no ill effects of his injury.
I know he's not 100% yet. He's still progressing, but assuming he's able to get back even close to the player that he was in Atlanta, what kind of a boost does that give you guys this season?
Huge. The most important thing with Damari is just his spacing the floor. He's a great three-point shooter, spacing out. Really gives us spacing that we need with Kyle DeMar handling the ball, attacking off the dribble. So that's what we need from him, his defensive presence and just mainly his spacing. And he did a great job last year of accepting that role. That's kind of the role he had. It is the role he had in Atlanta, and that's what we need from him. And he takes us from a good team to a pretty good team when he does that. And when he played, that's what he gave us.
What did Jared bring to this team?
His basketball IQ is one. He's one of the best passing big men in the league. Excellent rebounder. He's going to be a good three-point shooter for us. To be able to space the floor. Defensively, he defends with his brain. And that's something that's huge for us for our interior defense. He'll be a different type of defender than Bismack was. He'll do it more with his brain and his know-how and his anticipation, more so than anything else. And that's what's really impressive about Jared.
Is that the defensive end is going to be where, I know you're not going to commit to him being a starter, but you sort of talked about that. How he meshes with JV is going to be on the rotation.
No question. I think the question mark for all of our bigs is how well they handle the pick and roll situation, in drag screens, in transition, all the things that are difficult for most big men. We've got to get good at, and that's what we spent a lot of time today on, is our transition defense. Our big guys getting back, loading to the ball, getting below the ball. That they probably thought they were in a track meet today because Kyle was really pushing it at them. But again, that's going to be our challenge, is make sure we get back and give the ball some support.
Dwane, the last two seasons, in terms of the way the season has ended, I mean, last year was significantly different than the year before. When you look at that, and how do you get the message across that, hey, you got to go back down to the bottom of the mountain and start all over again and not try to continue from where you left off last year?
No, quite well. They're going to hear from me until they probably, sick, with throwing up or whatever, because they're going to hear it every meeting, every huddle, that we're starting with our fundamentals. We're starting from scratch. We're starting at the letter A. We're not assuming that we remember anything. And again, it makes it easier when you do have continuity and things we do say, hey, use a terminology, we're right on the spot. But again, drill-wise, training camp-wise, we're starting from going from A to Z, and that's the way you do get back to the bottom or get back to the starting line, and make sure we're focused in on the little things. And again, we know the big picture. We know what we want to do defensively and offensively, Sherm. But what we got to do is make sure we don't skip a letter of the alphabets fundamentally. Conditioning-wise, we got to get back to a high level, which we're not there yet, but that'll come as this month goes on.
Wayne, how do you think the experience that Kyle and DeMar had this summer will benefit your team here?
Huge. I can just see their intensity, their know-how, their expectation to win. The confidence level is off the charts from both of those guys. When you play that type of basketball and with that caliber of players as teammates, you know what's a good play and not a good play, and their confidence level is really high, and that's what I sensed and saw today. Both of them are doing a heck of a job defensively. DeMar's at a different level defensively than he was the last few years. His defensive presence has been impressive, the way he played today. He took the challenge now. We got to continue that for 82-plus games, hopefully, and but I like the way he presented himself, and I think a lot of that was his role on the national team.
Coach, can you say the same to Corey Joseph? after he played at the qualifying tournament?
I can, yeah. Corey's got. That's one reason why he's the player he is because he got so much confidence of playing in one of the lead guard positions for the national team. Corey's Corey. I mean, he came in today. He's in great shape. So he did his job today, and again, I'm sure a lot of that is playing with the national team. A lot of it is just his DNA, the way he approaches the game.
DeRozan, you mentioned is improving D. How has his offensive game improved?
Well, it's not going to change a lot. He is who he is. If anything, he can knock down the three with the regularity. He's got the freedom to do that. We're encouraging that. That's why our non-paint 2 numbers are going to be skewed a little bit because he is so good. He's one of our best post-up players, so our numbers are going to be skewed a little bit from him shooting the 3, and that's why he does it the old-fashioned way. He does it. He is who he is, and the game is slowed down for him. And like most really good players, the game slows down the older you get, and I can just see he's playing the old man's game, tricking the young guys with pump fakes, and they're biting on it still. And we'll take that.
It's going to take it by committee to replace Biz's minutes with some of the young guys, Jakob in particular.
Yeah, it's going to take by committee. Jakob, Lucas, it's there for the taking. I mean, all those guys. We're going to see who emerges out of that group. We need rim protection. We need paint protection out of those big guys to keep the ball from going from free throw line, and it's just going to put more pressure on the guards to get back in front of penetration. Whereas, last year Bismack, and especially toward the end of the season, was there to erase a lot of mistakes. And we're going to have to do that committee. We got to find somebody in that group, and it could be Pascal Siakam could play the 5 some. And so that's one of our things that we got to look at as training camp goes on.
What about coming up to Vancouver? This is your guys' 3rd year, and I know you saw the Blue Jays had a crazy showing in Seattle with 20,000 fans at each game. Is that sort of the goal of this organization to eventually?
I was texting some of my friends down in Seattle. I thought I was watching at Rogers Stadium at Mariners Field, which is a beautiful stadium, but I thought it was, I thought it was in downtown Toronto. There's so many blue jerseys that were there. But no, this is a great basketball area, the great country. I saw where the prince and his wife were here, and I think this is a beautiful part of the country, big basketball part of the world, of the country also. And our fans here have been great. Every year we've been here, it's been a sellout, a great enthusiastic crowd. It's all you could ask for. It's again, just like Seattle, it's surprising that there's not a team here, and we'll take it because we want to be greedy and have the whole country. And but the fans here are great, and that's one reason why we come here. And 2, it gives us an opportunity to get away from most people, but no, it gives us a chance to get away and also to be in as a group. Secluded a little bit as a team, and I like that. I think we need that. And again, being at home is still comfortable when you go home in the afternoon. Here, it's you and your teammates, and that's what we like.